Hi everybody, it's Lyn from Lyn's Crafts. I'm coming by today with a tutorial on, well, it's going to be on a goddess pendant, but it's basically on using the Finnabair rust paste on polymer clay and resin. I've made these wings using the aluminum amazing casting resin, just in the wish wing mold, and then I've made a face out of polymer clay just using the mold that I re-sculpted from the Sculpting mold. Okay, first thing I want to do is to add just a bit more detail to her face. Okay, let me see. A little spiral to her forehead. And a few dots to her cheek below her eyes. Okay, that ought to be enough. Alright, now I've rolled out a sheet of the Sculpting Primo Accents, and this is of course the silver. I don't know what is all over my desk. Okay, the first thing I want to do is I want to make her a little bit of hair. Let me get just using my ball tool, the small end, I'm just gonna roughly sketch out some hair, and keep in mind this will be the bottom layer of the hair. Okay, something just like that. Now, more than likely when I cut it out, it'll look different. Because I almost never like the first draft, and I probably won't really even like the second one, but it is what it is. Now I've got this, it's a furring tool, or in this case, a hair tool. I'm going to smooth down the sharp edges with my finger just a bit. and then just following those contours that I drew in. Alright, don't be afraid to move your piece around to get a better angle at it. Okay, and then I'm just going to take the brush end of my color shaper and just remove a few of those little bits of spur, as you would call it. Okay, something like that. Okay, now I'm going to re-roll the rest of this silver and do a front layer for her hair. Okay, and this is somewhat by just feel. Again, I'm going to just smooth down the edges. Alright, now I'll need to hold this up so I can see. Alright, and then again with the hair tool, as I'm going to call it. Okay, one of the things that I'm not fond of is her hairline. That's a little better. Okay, I've re-rolled out the rest of the silver I had out, and I'm gonna make her a necklace or something down below where her neck would be. It will also serve as another layer or backing to the piece. Okay, I just need to decide about where I want this to finish up. Okay, something about there. But you hate it when you're looking for something and it's right in front of you. Okay, let me see. I really want her to have a neck. Okay, something like that. Then I'm gonna make a couple of parallel bands. And I just rolled a bit of this silver clay between my fingers. In a kind of an egg shape. Then I'm just going to roll a snake. This clay is getting pretty, I don't want to say old, because it's not really old, but it's getting a bit stiff, even though I've conditioned it. Alright, I just rolled out a snake, and I'm just going to pinch off little balls off the end. That I'm then going to mash down with the larger end of my ball tool. Okay, just like that. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing one more time. Okay, something like that. Okay, and although initially I wanted to put her wings on, I'm thinking about cutting those out. So, I'm going to bake this actually just like this. Just checking to see how thick it is. And it is pretty thick. I'm going to go ahead and bake it just like this, and then I'll come back and put a backing on it and put the bail on. She turned out pretty. Okay, here she is out of the oven. And this is the Rust Effect paste from Finnabair, and it's the darker brown one. And it is quite textured. So I'm just going to give the whole piece a coating of this dark brown. Okay, so I'll be back when I'm done with that. Okay, and you can see the rough texture this Rust Effect paste gives. And I should have mentioned I'm using a pretty stiff, pretty scruffy brush. But for the next step, I want to actually use a stencil brush. If I can find, I've got a small one. Let me look. Aha! I did find it. Alright, now I'm going to go with the red, the red rust effect paste. And this one is even more textured than the brown one. I want to work it into my stencil brush just a bit. Okay. Now what I'm looking to do is to mainly hit the high points and to not get too much in the recesses. But remember, we still are going to have to do the gold rust color. Alright, so again, I'm going to continue on with this, and I'll be back. Okay, now you can see it's giving it even more texture. Sorry about that. Okay, now I'm going to go with the golden rust, which has the least amount of texture in it. And really, almost just looks like mustard, doesn't it? Alright, so I'm actually going to pounce on my glass just a bit. Now this, I just really want to hit the high points. And that is truly about it. Now what you'll notice is that as it dries, the colors will blend together a bit more. Alright, you can already see what I'm talking about. The yellow doesn't stand out quite as much as it did when I first put it on. And that will continue to kind of not necessarily bleed out, but that's the effect it'll give. Okay? Now just like with the patina paste, the one I did first, it's okay to bake these in the oven. The wax, which is the silver bit, now that's a different story that we'll talk about later. So I'm going to put a backing on this piece and put a bail on the top, and I'll stick it back in the oven. Okay? Really loving the way it turned out. She's really pretty. Okay? Before I do that, I just want to say, you would never know that it was silver clay to begin with. So really and truly, the color clay that you start out with doesn't matter at all if you're using this rust paste effect, because it completely covers the color of the clay, just like the patina effect does. It was also on silver clay, but you would never know that. Okay, here she is out of the oven, and I just have to say, It's pretty convincing rust paste. It feels very rough and rusty. Alright, I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. So, if you're looking for a less expensive alternative, you can try the Finnabair rust paste, Art Extravaganza rust paste. The texture is what really does it for me, because of course you can get the same effect just using acrylic paint, but it won't have the texture. There are recipes out there on YouTube to make a faux rust paste, but I haven't tried any of them. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Again, the links for the products will be listed below. Bye for now.